Okay, let's set this up. Testing, 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 testing. We have audio yet? We do have audio. Testing. Okay, that's confirmed. Let's get the show on the road. Good morning. It's Friday, December 2nd. I'm probably up back in my, what used to be my normal time, 7:15 in the morning. I've been out of the practice of doing these 15-minute in the morning things for a while, since for over a month. And the end of October, I had this big on-site work trip. And I immediately, after I got back, I picked up some sort of flu in Indiana that I wasn't inoculated for, and was out for almost 3 weeks. And then, then I had screwed up my schedule, and it's taken me a while to just get back used to the idea of sleep hygiene again, which is going to sleep early so you can wake up early the next day. I've been trying to get back to it for the past few days, and I probably am up about 3 days ahead of schedule. I was just kind of moving the time earlier and earlier every day, trying to go to sleep earlier. It's been difficult because I've been playing this game called The Division with my cousins, which tends to I was playing too late, going to sleep too late, and it was making me so I couldn't wake up early. But anyway, maybe today it will be a fluke that I'm up this early, or maybe it's the start of a new session of doing these early morning things. 7:15 a.m. and it's actually kind of light outside, which is surprising. Usually it's darker. Do the morning shift to an earlier time this time of day? I guess actually with the return back to non-daylight savings time, this is actually would be 8 o'clock. So maybe the mornings won't be as bad. I was finding the early morning routine to be kind of depressing because it was so dark at 7:15. But this might not be so bad. Anyway, I just really got up. I haven't even showered. Eyes are still full of sleep. But I don't even remember how to do these things anymore. So let me go back to go to my Quiver app and see where I left off on this. Let's see. Quiver. Here's Quiver and 15-minute habit. When was the last time I did one of these? Let me move this back over here. Also, since I'm up, I need to wrap this one up quickly because I'm up early enough that I can get my tires swapped at the garage early enough in the morning. They open at 8. If I get there first thing in the morning, then the wait is they can do it in 15 minutes instead of waiting for 2 hours. So, all right, I'm gonna set the 15-minute timer now just to make sure that happens. Timer's going. Let me switch over here to Discord and make sure that this is happening here. Where is the live stream chat? Here's the live stream chat. And let's see, that's interesting. They posted links there. All right, so what's the last thing I did? Last thing I did was November 16th. So that was, oh wait, that was a fluke one. I was last regularly doing these at October 23rd, which is the day before I went on that trip. So now today is, crap, I just pressed the wrong button on my keyboard and locked it out. It's December. It's Friday, December 2nd. And I don't know what I'm going to do today. So I'm just going to go back to the NHERD Magazine project. Because I don't remember where I left off on that. The last entry I see on NHERD going up here is, oops, let me fix this accessibility thing. Accessibility preferences, more options, adjust size and location. This is supposed to be on this screen. So I can zoom in like this again. I made a sample research log with front matter properly cut RMS that contained extract tags, extract projects. I want to be able to trigger different complicated JavaScript filtering operations best with there. But how? I don't really remember any of this, but let's see if I wrote enough continuity down to remind myself. So this is what I'm supposed to do. To start this up, I need to go to a terminal window, which is this. And I believe this is on my other monitor right now. I believe, okay, so now the terminal, I've slid it over to the other screen. Let me size that so it fits. And what did I say it was supposed to do? Go to this directory. Can't. These say web, nerd, metal. My eyes are like, still can't focus on anything. Then do, oops. Did I screw this up? Oh, it's just a node. What? Well, that's not working. This should have worked. Oh, it's in the build directory. Node. Then there's a script called build. Or is there? This directions don't match. Well, that should have worked. I'm trying to focus on this. That's odd. There should be a file for building, but there's a folder called build instead. This is Nerd Metal. There's no module. What happened here? My build instructions are no longer working. I'm in the right folder. This is DSay Web Nerd Metal. There should be a. What I seem to be missing. Oh, wait. I still should change this to gulp. Alright, so these directions are wrong now. So this should be cd, build, gulp, open Sublime project, open browser. Okay. Just row these things out. Gulp, open Sublime project, open browser. Let's open the Sublime project now. Let me go to, I think I still have in here. There's the project file. Let's begin that. And what was the next thing I need to do? Open the browser, which I guess I'll do right here. Or rather, let me minimize this again. And move this to the side like this. And move this over here. Now let's open the browser. And put it over here to the side. And what am I supposed to do again? I need to navigate to wherever this is running from, which I think is port 9000, localhost, or is 8000? If not 8000, maybe it's 3000, which is the one I tend to use. 3000, okay, let me just update to HTTP localhost 3000. There. Start up. Just fix these instructions a bit. All right. At least I didn't waste too much time on that. So, but that took up almost 8 minutes. Half my time is gone already. So what was I doing? I had said, where I last left off in my 15-minute habits continuity, the last thing I did, sample research log. What would that be? Articles, research examples, is that it? I think that's it. So a sample research article. That's right, I had this big fancy idea of how to, basically how to create a research-driven or research-organized website. Since I did this, when I went to Indiana University for the on-site meeting, was talking to all these learning scientists, and like I learned about some of the tools that they have. There's a tool that they use called, I think it's called Atlas. So apparently what I'm trying to do here is something called qualitative research. Atlas, I think it's Atlas TI is the name of the program. The qualitative data analysis and research software. And this qualitative analysis basically is you collect a bunch of thoughts, much as I do, and then you tag it or log it, or otherwise organize it in some way that you can see patterns in it that can then be tested, organized. You're going to take some sort of online course in this learning science stuff to see what it's all about. Because I suspect there's rich tools to be mined, to be applied to, learning and productivity and doing things. But like from listening to the learning scientists talk, they all had a collection of different approaches that they used, combining whatever off-the-shelf tools that they had. There's an interesting parallel universe between productivity, just like, I guess civilians doing stuff, and what learning scientists are doing. There's some kind of crossover there that it's worth looking at, and I am curious. My motivation is that I want to learn how to do more things and learn more effectively. And learning scientists, they want to, I guess, teach. Well, I guess they're all interested in all aspects of learning, which is what I found out when I was talking to the grad students there. So my challenge here is to, I guess, figure out how to build my own system. I mean, looking at Atlas TI, I think there's a free license for it. I'm not sure though. I wasn't able to find it. I mean, they must have, if you're a student, I think it's free. But, this is like one of those pieces of software that's designed, the single license is $670. Probably somewhere hidden there's probably the free student license. I don't know where it is, but they don't make it obvious. It could be the trial period. You might be able to download and run it and not have to pay anything. In fact, I may have installed it. I did. Let's see what it looks like. Will it expire my trial? Trial. Check automatically. Yeah, so I guess it runs in trial mode until you license it. So it's in a nagware kind of thing. You can add nagware type. So you have projects. Here's a test project. And this is what Evernote, I think, tries to be, and like Quiver tries to be, but this is a different approach, and they have, there's a process that they had, I wanted to call it logging, but I'm not sure that was what it was. What's over here? New coding, that's what it is. So they're looking at the body of research they've collected, data they've collected, and they start adding codes to it, which I think is like what we would call tagging. Finding saying you find like a particular interesting piece of data that's not, statistical or quantitative, and you code it with something like this is related to this topic. And then you look at the patterns and you draw some sort of conclusion or come up with some kind of research question for which you can design an experiment for, I would guess. And so, but what I want to do is essentially want to implement this coding feature, in which, like if I look at my website, let me close this program again. If I go to my website, what I want to do is, essentially, let's see, where is it? So my website, this doesn't look like there's a whole bunch of stuff here, but if I go to the archives page, I mean, I have qualitative data about myself going back to September 2004. So it's over 10 years worth of stuff. As of May 2015, when they had a word count plugin that didn't die on me, I had 1.4, almost 1.5 million words of data that I want to code. The peak periods were 2008, but I've also have, let's just look at November 2010, just to see what articles I've got there. Some podcasts, productivity links. So an example of this, an incremental change in identity. This will be one of the personal thought. Oh no, this is a design post. Oh no, I was looking for a new font for my identity, and I was comparing Proxima Nova Condensed, which was what I chose, versus my old one, Helvetica Neue Condensed. And I like the slightly more open feeling of Proxima Nova, but still the very well considered. I just like this way better than Helvetica Neue, which is feels a little bit too crunched in for me. This is a little bit more legible. So this identity question is something that I've been asking about myself for a long time. Like, who am I? How do I represent that? Scrolling down, I didn't read a whole lot in November. Then again, my peak period was 2006 to 2008. That was when I was doing more writing. But every year, I would usually write something about myself that was either related to learning something, trying new approaches to stuff. This looks like a period when I was just trying to write more. This restatement of purpose might be an interesting thing. Coincidentally, I was sick for the past 2 weeks on December 7th, 2010, 6 years ago. And here I'm listing things that I thought were paying off. Being involved in other people's projects, embracing my introverted nature. And there's patterns here that recur over and over again in my writing and in my work. And there's some kind of pattern there. And there's some kind of solution to some kind of question or set of questions. And that's really, I think, what I want to be able to do with my research. Well, that's one of the things I want to be able to do with my research. The other thing is to make this research available. And not research just about identity or graphic design or whatever, but also stuff that I'm interested in. Like, for example, on the right side here, this pizza making experiment. I mean, there's something about doing this kind of work that makes me happy. To be able to share what I've learned and be able to share it in a way that it can be effectively browsed, which my website currently in its blog format is practically impossible to look at. I mean, you could look at the archive page, but it's inefficient to browse. You can't see the overall patterns. It started to do this manually by just choosing some selected ones, but that's also inefficient. it doesn't allow me to do the kind of thinking work that I want to do, especially for new projects. So anyway, my time is up. I'm going to write down, what did I do today? I reviewed the progress of the NHERD magazine from October 23rd. Then went into a tangent, remembering why I wanted a research oriented website in the first place. Looking again at Atlas TI and my own website to figure out what the connection between learning science and productivity and me might be. I basically, my conclusion this day was that there were several reasons to be able to code my 12 years of writing on the website, to be able to efficiently share what I've written, to efficiently support and share my ongoing new research / thought process, which is similar to the coding, which is similar, I don't know. And so this idea of sharing, this idea, or this desire to share, let's say, is part of my identity. And I think indulging in it will create the kind of connectedness and interestingness that contributes to increased personal happiness. Exclamation point. All right, so I guess that's it for today. I didn't get very far as making something, but that's okay. I blocked in some time. I started thinking about this, and that's the point of doing this first thing in the morning. It sets the tone. I'm up. I might not be able to make the tire store, but I can at least try. If I get there early enough. Although it might be packed already. Anyway, so I might have blown the day already. But that's the day for today. Friday, so thanks for watching, and I hope you have a productive Friday. 10 count. Stop.